Welcome to the DEC4 podcast. You can access episodes, companion articles, research notes and links, as well as information about our contributors and supporters at dec4podcast.com. Hope you enjoy the program. IMDb then, we didn't have social media, so to us, this group of actors in the bill had emerged fully formed from nowhere into this incredible ensemble, and I think Kevin Lloyd was certainly one of the people that were, or one of the actors that really I think people just really warmed to, because he was so likeable. And I wonder if you could maybe just tell us, perhaps your experience working with Kevin Lloyd and what he brought as an actor to the ensemble.
He was an absolute natural, Kevin.
I should mention he played Tosh Lines. I didn't mention that before, I should have, but yes.
He did, yeah. He had a cheeky way about him. And Kevin was a kind man. I shared a dressing room with Kevin. He was also the most untidy man I have ever met. But he was a special guy. He could take a dull line and make it interesting, which is quite a skill. And he had a good sense of humour, and he had a real rapport with the audiences. It was very hard to not like Kev. Yeah, and I can't, my memory cannot divorce his alcoholism and his passing. I can't sort of separate those two things anymore. Because during, all 10 years, well, until he passed, so it would be slightly less than 10 years, maybe about 8, I suppose, of my time on the bill was spent in close proximity with him. And we were good friends. But I did see him descend. I saw him fall apart, really. And that was heartbreaking. Because nothing is, can't talk to someone like that to say, stop it. Stop, you're destroying yourself. We love you, stop destroying yourself. You can't, that doesn't work. So yeah, his loss was just such a blow. It wasn't surprising, but it was a massive blow. Yeah, to lose a friend like that. And but as an actor, absolute natural, and just had a. Some people have got it and some people don't, but he had a rapport. He had stage presence. For a little chunky fella, he had stage presence.
Yes, yeah. Look. Yeah, he was, and it sort of came back to the balance of characters that kind of made it a really believable workplace.
Yeah. And
just referring to the interview that you gave on the Bill podcast with Oliver, and you were talking about the episode with Bronner Gallagher, and your character D.S. Greig was relieving DI. And you mentioned that the head of CID really needed a big personality like Burnside, whereas D.S. Greig was perhaps a little quieter and worked in a very different way. But one thing that struck me in that episode was the rapport between Greig and Burnside. Both very, very different, but when you managed to turn Bronner Gallagher's character as your informant, there was this genuine admiration from Burnside for what you had achieved, that he had thought, well, no, you're sort of wasting your time there. So it was an interesting dynamic that Greig was able to be his own, sort of had the strength of the character not to be drawn into this more, I guess, flamboyant way of policing, with Ted Roach or Burnside, but kept his own more reserved style, which was equally effective but different.
We think the Akram brothers did it. We know Ramiz Patel handles. And Nicola Purdy says there's gear in his shop.
She what?
She says there's gear there, electrical, and I believe her.
Jay, give the court a ring, see if I can squeeze you in.
Well, no, what about Madam's party?
Stuff Madam's party. She's got a promotion. Go on. I'm gobsmacked, Alistair. What did you promise her? A free pardon and a 20 grand reward.
Jane? She doesn't want to lose her boyfriend. She thinks this is it.
What?
Whatever.
Is he? I think
someone who thinks she's special.
Well, what chance has a slag like that got of finding anybody who thinks she's special?
Yes,
none whatsoever. But we all have to dream, don't we?
And I think that's testament to the writers and to the script editing department that they were able to have this multifaceted approach and also keep all those balls of plates spinning, because so many characters, so many different dynamics between them. It would have been easier for the relationship between Burnside and Greig to just be the same old thing, where essentially they're constantly locking horns with their different approaches. But the fact that, yes, you could have an episode where Burnside turns around and actually gives some kind of grudging praise is better, because that's multifaceted. That's what life is more like than just it being linear and always the same thing happening. I mean, as actors, you get your script and you play the part, but we were fortunate. I would say this, wouldn't I? But I think it was a bit of a golden era of the bill, where the writing was awfully good. And you sometimes you would read your script when it came through the door, and you just go, this is great. There's so much to get your teeth into here. So yeah, it was. When you think back on it, how lucky we were to essentially be part of repertory theatre on TV. The policy was not to bring in stars. The policy was to use actors who had stagecraft, that had come from some kind of a background, that knew their art, were a little bit experienced in what they were doing, rather than just saying, well, you were in such and such, we'll have you. And that kept that dynamic strong. And you had to be a team player, because there were times when, you'd have 2 lines in an episode, and therefore your role was to support the person who at that point was starring in that episode. There was no point getting grumpy about it. You absolutely had to play, be the team player. And it was good. And you get a lot of people working in one place, and that usually means that there will be some friction, but it was very, very rare for people not to just get on very well with each other. It was a very happy place.
Podcast terms and conditions can be found at our website, dec4podcast.com. You can contact us there or on our social media. Find us on the major podcasting platforms, and we're also on Substack, Facebook, Tumblr and Instagram. This has been George Fairbrother. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Steve Collins from the YouTube channel Please Tell Me Where to Go. We have great travel videos and other stuff as well, so go to YouTube. Please tell me where to go. The 2 is the numeral 2, and enjoy a whole bunch of videos.